Welcome to Seymour's World. I'm Seymour Kazimirski on ThinkTech Hawaii. Our goal is to open minds and facilitate conversations. Today we have a wonderful guest. Her name is Helene Frei. She is from Shriners Hospital, and I have been fortunate enough to work with her the last few months in our Make 'em Smile program. I wanted to do this interview because Shriners is a very, very special place. And I didn't realize it until I actually went in there and started working with them. And this young lady is amazing in how much she cares for these kids. And I thought you should understand what Shriners is all about and what Helene is all about as well. So without further ado, may I introduce Helene. Hi, Helene.
Hi, Seymour.
How are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
I know you're a little nervous today, but I wanted to say that Helene is really Helene. Am I correct?
You are correct.
It is a French name. I know it is because my sister's name is Helene as well.
Oh, wonderful.
Of course, she changed her name to Helen and then to Heidi because she wanted to anglicize it a little bit. But we will call you Helene just to be sure.
That's what, when I was in kindergarten, my mom said that they told her my name was Helene, and she just kind of went with it.
Oh, really? And it stayed that way?
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. So tell me a little bit about yourself first.
Well, I grew up in Southern California, and then I moved over here to Hawaii back in '89, and have been here ever since. This is home. I don't think I'm going to be leaving anytime soon.
And how long have you been with Shriners?
Well, I started at Shriners in '91, so about 23 years.
Oh but you're only 29 years old.
Right, I started when I was 6.
Something doesn't work out. Maybe they give you better food at Shriners. Something that makes
really
you look so
there,
good.
Though.
Yeah, well, you look fabulous for 29 years old. I can tell you that.
Thank you.
Well, I have to ask you a little bit about Shriners because a lot of us know Shriners as this small little hospital across from the Kapiolani Children's Hospital.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about Shriners.
Yeah, well, it's funny that a lot of people don't know about Shriners, even though I bet everybody has passed by it because everybody gets off of that Punahou off-ramp right there. Mm-hmm. And we were a smaller hospital, but now if you haven't noticed, I guess it's been about four years or so, that we have a brand new hospital. It's big, it's beautiful, and there's so many things we can do there for the children of Hawaii.
I think one of the things that impressed me the most, now Kapiolani, of course, is a big hospital, and it's hustling and bustling. There's a wonderful quiet when you walk into Shriners, and I guess that's attributable to its size as well, because it's not that big of a hospital. Right. How many beds do you have, or how many kids do you hold there?
Yeah, well, we have, as far as beds goes, we have about 24 beds or so, give or take. But the majority of the patients we see, we have clinics that the doctors follow these patients when they come in. And so the busiest area is our outpatient clinic area. And then when they do come for inpatient, it'd primarily be for like treatment or for surgery.
The hospital is new, or the building is new.
It's fairly new, yeah.
It's beautiful,
yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. Now your specialty, you're not a nurse, you're in recreational therapy.
Correct.
What does that mean?
Recreation therapy, well, people will say that I have the best job in the hospital because I get to play with the kids, and I'm proud to say that I do. We try to, our main goal is to try to have our kids feel comfortable because coming into the hospital can be very frightening for some children, especially if they've never been to the hospital or if they've never had surgery. And
some of the kids that I saw are not from Hawaii. They're from outer islands. How does that work?
Yeah, well, the majority of the kids we see are from Hawaii, but we service the whole Pacific Basin. So we have kind of a wide range of children that we see. We have our doctors and team go to do outreach clinics in some of these different areas. So we could have kids from Fiji, Samoa, Guam, Saipan, all the little Micronesian islands, Ponape, Costa Rica, all at once.
Well, we have to give Shriners their due because Shriners, I understand, pays for a lot of this. They pay for their travel and accommodations. How does that work?
Yeah, as far as travel, our Aloha temples, which is our local Shriners temple, they have a transportation fund, and so they pay for a lot of the plane fare to get the children here to be seen. Yeah.
That's terrific, and obviously
Yeah.
that's a great added advantage for those families that are
Right.
not in Hawaii to be able to come and get proper medical care.
Correct.
So when they come here and they're housed, you mentioned something prior to coming on the show, that it's orthopedic. It's mostly orthopedic.
Correct, yeah.
So is it surgeries or is it just clinics?
It's both, so we service any child that has an orthopedic condition, so anything to do with their bones, their muscles, their joints. And they come, a lot of times these children are seen throughout their life, well, not their life, but until they turn 18 or sometimes beyond, a couple years beyond. But they can come in and be evaluated by the doctors. Sometimes if they don't need surgery right away, they're just being followed, every few months until maybe something comes up and they might need to have some surgery to correct something.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I think most of us remember Shriners with their hats. They've got this certain look, the old guys who are sitting in the lobby, for instance.
Yeah.
And I think that's wonderful. They're all
Yeah.
volunteers, I believe.
They are. They're wonderful men that volunteer their time to the mission, and basically it's to help kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It's so nice to see a place like Shriners that is devoted to helping children and providing everything that's required, especially if they don't live in Hawaii. And there are
Right.
several Shriners hospitals, obviously.
Yeah,
This is not the only one.
We're a network of 22 hospitals, but ours is unique because we service probably the biggest area, because
Wow.
that includes all the Pacific Basin.
That is
yeah.
terrific. So tell us about the job. I know from being there, and we'll talk about Make 'em Smile in a few
Okay.
minutes, but I know from being there that whenever I come, you and Stephanie, she's your
Yes,
assistant.
Stephanie, yes.
If you're watching,
She's a rec
hello.
therapist. Yeah.
Yes, she's wonderful.
She
You're both
does.
wonderful. But you have such smiles on your face. You're always happy doing your job. What is the actual job itself?
Well, primarily, we want our kids to feel comfortable with everything that they're going through, whether it's seeing the doctor, whether it's a surgery or whatnot. So to do that, we provide them with activities that they're familiar with. So I always like to say play is kind of universal healing and universal language. And so through play, the child can be as normal as possible and know that whatever they're going through, they can still do the things that they like, or we try to introduce them to something new.
So part of the play, is it also part of the treatment?
Yes.
So you do work, go ahead,
Yeah,
explain it.
no, I was just going to say the beauty of it is that the kids naturally want to play, so we try to facilitate that with, whether it's toys or arts and crafts or whatever program we're doing with them. But the beauty of it is they're not thinking this is therapy or this is something I have to do. It's just such a natural thing that they can do and just enjoy it, so they're not having to worry about, oh, I'm doing this because I have to.
And I think people should realize that Shriners originally paid for everything, right? It used to be a patient comes in, they never have to worry. And I'm assuming that now with credit crunches and all that stuff, that there is co-payment from insurance companies?
Yes, basically there's no payment for the family. We do tap into their insurance if they have that, but if they don't, we still see the child no matter what.
So when a child comes in, they check in. What is the average stay for a child?
It really varies depending on what type of surgery they're having. We do a lot of same-day surgeries, and then if the surgery is a little more involved or complex, they can stay for a few days to a few weeks. It just really varies. It's a big range.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're the recreation, what's the title again?
Recreation therapist, yeah.
The recreation therapist, and they come in, and that's part of their hospital stay is to be able to play and to
Right.
get better with your program. I think it's
Exactly.
fabulous.
Yeah.
We, as you know, Make 'em Smile does the same type of work at Kapilani and at
Correct.
Kaiser, and as well at your hospital. We're going to start Tripler pretty soon. I want to talk a little bit about Make 'em Smile. That's how I
yes.
met you, and that's why I felt it's so important to have you here. Tell
Okay.
me about the program in your hospital.
Wow, we are just completely blessed to have your program in our hospital. It's been such a positive thing. We've had just wonderful musicians that come in, and They're so, so talented, but it's not even just their talent, it's how they connect with the kids. That's really meaningful, and that's really where the healing begins.
You know, when you say the healing begins, it's very important to me because
Right.
the whole idea of Make 'em Smile was basically just to give them a moment of happiness while they're obviously in pain and they're in the
Right.
hospital, not for good reasons. Nobody comes there for a good reason. We see a parent and we see a child, or
Right.
parents and a child. And I always felt that bringing them into the hospital, bringing the musicians into the hospital, was to give them a moment of happiness. But it's more than that, it seems. It really has changed into a healing process, which
Right.
is amazing to me. Describe to me
Yeah.
what it's like when the kids and the parents hear the music.
Okay. I can think of a specific example when we had a girl that had just had surgery, pretty major surgery on her back. And I walked into her room before we went in, and I asked her if it would be okay if we came in to sing with her. And her mom said, "Oh, she's had a hard day, and I'm not sure." And then she looked up at me and kind of gave me this look like, yes, this would be good. And we came in. She was in so much pain, and she wanted the musician there, and they started singing. And then she started getting a tear in her eye because she really missed her twin sister. Sorry.
Go ahead.
And it was a song that she used to sing with her sister, and her sister's back home, so she was really missing her. So even though it was, maybe kind of sad because she was missing her sister, it really made her feel good because she felt for that moment she wasn't thinking about her pain. She was thinking about, oh, I want to get better to get back to my sister.
Isn't that amazing? I think the theory of music is healing is something that I didn't anticipate when we started the Make 'em Smile program. For me, it was just a matter of giving them that moment or two. But I
Right.
find now that, and I'm sure in your hospital too, if patients are there for a long period of time, they look forward to the Thursdays
yes.
when the music is coming or when the musicians are
Yeah,
coming.
yeah.
And it's wonderful. I just love what it does for your program.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about you and your children. We haven't even touched that. You have two boys.
Well, speaking of twins, I
Yes.
have twins.
Mhm.
Yes, they're 11. They're finishing up 5th grade this year.
And they're at Punahou,
They're at Punahou.
and they're both tennis players.
They are avid tennis players. Yes, they love it.
And they're piano players too.
They are. They play
So,
piano.
do you have time for anything besides that? Is that your life? You've got and your kids, and you've got work, and you're married, obviously.
Yes.
And your
And we have a
husband-
dog named Hershey.
Oh my gosh! And is he one of your dogs that comes in? What are they
He's
called?
not. We
Therapy
do.
dog.
We do have therapy dogs, but my dog isn't yet. Maybe someday in the future.
Yeah. Right now, he runs the house.
Yes, he
I
takes
assume.
care of the house.
I assume. So we're talking about the hospital and how Shriners gives of themselves to help these kids. Is there any competition with the other hospitals here, or you have your own? I mean, do people compare the care of Shriners versus?
I mean, I
Kakalani?
guess people could, because there's different options out there. But what's really unique about Shriners is that, well, first of all, we have the best orthopedic surgeons there.
Of course, of
I
course.
mean, for sure.
Of
And
course.
then also the team that we have with all the therapists, the nurses, everybody that's there really truly is like a family. And the services are right there at the hospital. So they can have their physical therapy right there. They can have their x-ray right there. I mean, everything, it's just really convenient.
And it's only 3 floors, right?
Actually, it's only 2 floors.
2
Well, we
floors.
have the basement, but
Okay,
yeah.
so it's only 2 floors, so
2
it's easy
floors.
to get around and very easy to
Yes,
move.
very easy
And
to get
I
around.
think I can say this with almost 100% accuracy. Notice I said almost 100% accuracy. You have the only grand piano in the lobby. That I think is probably
I don't
the only
know.
hospital
Really?
that I have seen that has a grand piano in the lobby.
Yes.
When I was there with Jimmy Borges, I don't know if you remember,
Yeah.
Jimmy and I were sitting in the lobby, and he knows that I play piano and he sings. And he says, "Seymour, where is that music coming from?"
Right.
And I couldn't believe there was a piano player sitting in the
Yes,
hospital playing.
yes, that
and
is-
you have a piano player coming in. How
we
often
do,
does he
we
come
do.
in?
He's great. We have one of our regular volunteers, Roger House. He's just so talented, and he comes and plays just whenever he's available. We don't really have a set schedule, but it's nice because the piano's on the 2nd floor, so it flows downstairs
through.
to the lobby. and he just plays beautifully. Yeah.
Do you remember when Jimmy came in? He
I
went
do.
upstairs and he started singing with him.
Yes.
And you could hear it all through the lobby. Everybody was
Absolutely.
stopping to hear what's going on. You know, we were hearing this voice we recognized,
Right.
and it was Jimmy singing with Roger.
And do you know that one of our musicians, Jason Allen, he plays piano too.
Okay.
So not only does he come play guitar and sing in the rooms, he'll sit down at the piano and the kids will come up there and have a little jam session with him.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
One of my fondest memories, we had Gary Suffren playing. He is a guitar player, and it was on the second floor. And we got to like a lobby area, the nurse's station, and there was this little girl in a wheelchair. And she had her leg up. I guess she had just had surgery. So she had her leg up, and her parents were behind her. And the parents were trying to move her, I guess, to go somewhere. And she said no, because she wanted to stay to listen to the music.
That was a fun day.
That was a fun day. And she got right up close to Gary and almost wanted to touch the guitar because she heard that music coming out. I think that's fabulous.
Yeah.
I think that's really what makes the program very, very well worth it.
Absolutely. And then I think he moved downstairs after that, and she came downstairs to listen again.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that part, but that's great. You have a big recreation area as well. You have a swimming pool.
We do.
And that's all provided. That's part of the whole program.
That is.
It's free to every child that comes in.
Yeah, the pool is one of our favorite places to hang out.
So do you go in with the kids, or do you have pool?
Okay, we do. Both Stephanie and I go in with the kids. Our physical therapy department uses the pool also, but then when we go in, we really try to make it super fun for the kids. So we'll play Marco Polo, we'll play basketball, we'll play volleyball in the water, and the kids are just moving around, and it's just really fun. Yeah, so it's they're moving around, and they're big external fixators or devices that are on their legs. They feel like it's not even there because they're just kind of buoyant in the water.
That's part of the therapy.
Yeah.
I know when I was doing physiotherapy after I had 2 knee replacements, and I did physiotherapy, and getting in the water was actually more fun than it was physiotherapy because it just feels so good to do it. Oh, that's wonderful.
It's fun.
What about aftercare at Shriners? If somebody's going back to Micronesia after surgery, how does the aftercare work?
Well, we have clinics in some of these areas, not all of them, but there's definitely follow-up with these kids. So there's either a liaison that kind of coordinates care with them, and then we also have telemedicine. So at some of the facilities, I don't know exactly which ones, but we do have telemedicine so they can communicate that way as well.
Excellent. So the doctors here can see how well their patients are doing,
Correct.
whether it's 1,000 miles away or 10,000 miles away.
Yeah.
That's fabulous. Just fabulous. So Helene, now that you've been there, how many years?
23, I think that's right.
Is there something else you want to do at the hospital, or is this something you love to do?
Well, I love doing this. I love being with the kids.
Really?
And
Do you ever have any disappointments, any experiences that are not so great?
No, I would say not really, but it's hard when you get to know these kids and they're around a long time and they know each other. It's like a little family. And then when they leave, even though it's a positive thing, because then we know they're done with their treatment, but it's it's kind of sad when they go because we miss them.
Yeah, I bet you do actually.
Yeah.
Do some have to come back for follow-up treatment?
We do see some of these kids. Because I've worked there so long, I've had kids come back even with their kids.
Really?
So they're older,
Oh
and then they have children, and they come back with,
Oh my
if they have a condition we can treat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where do the parents stay? I'm just curious when they come from Micronesia or from Guam.
Right. We do have a family center on the property. And so if there's room, they stay there. Otherwise, there's different places in the community that they can stay at. Yeah.
That's great. And again, kudos to Shriners, obviously, for doing what they're doing, because this is one of the few places in Hawaii where all of the treatment is basically free for all of the kids. And for them to fly these kids and their parents from all over the South Pacific, it is just an amazing, amazing feature. We are going to have to take a break, Helene, or Helene, if I may call you. I love calling you Helene.
You can call me that.
Okay, that's good. We're going to have to take a break, and we'll be back with Helene Frei from Shriners Hospital in a minute. This is Seymour Kazimirski on Seymour's World at ThinkTech Hawaii.
I'm Jay Fidel. That's Sharon Moriwaki of the Hawaii Energy Policy Forum. And every Wednesday we have Hawaii, the State of Clean Energy. We've been doing it for some time now, and we have some fantastic guests on there, unbelievable guests who give us insight into what is going on in a very complex, sometimes very confusing, sometimes very disappointing area of progress in the state. So we love doing this. We love meeting them. We love talking to them. We love having their ideas out on the table. So maybe, just maybe, we can all make some sense of what's going on. Sharon, what do you think?
I think that's absolutely correct. We enjoy ourselves meeting with all these people and hearing about the energy and the state of clean energy, and hopefully we advance clean energy for the state. So it's terrific. Join us. Come
Okay,
join
it's
us.
every Wednesday. Okay, Wednesday is Energy Day. Every
Energy
Wednesday,
Wednesday.
4 to 5 p.m. Hawaii, the State of Clean Energy, here on ThinkTech Hawaii.
Energy
We'll see you
Wednesday.
there.
Hi, welcome back to Seymour's World. I'm Seymour Kazimirski with Helene, and I did pronounce her name incorrectly. I apologize. It's Freni, am I correct?
Correct.
So it's Freni, F-R-E-I-N-I.
F-R-E-N-I.
F-R-E-N-I. Today is just not my day. I just got back from Vancouver
okay.
the other day, so I'm not all there.
You're
but-
fine. I answered anything.
Thank you very much. So it's Helene from Shriners Hospital, and we're talking about therapy for children and what the recreation therapy is all about. So I'd like to bring up some photos, if we
Sure.
may, of some of what you do, and you could talk about each photo as we
Okay,
go.
okay.
Now here's the first one.
Oh, this is, recently we had a spring party. So we do all the holidays at the hospital. We even celebrate the kids' birthdays. We do Christmas, Valentine's Day. And this was fun because a lot of times the kids are coming from places where maybe they don't celebrate the same holidays. So they really enjoyed this. We had an Easter egg hunt where the kids got to look around. We had Punahou School come and assist the kids. And they were looking for eggs, and then they got to decorate eggs. They got a basket, and we had all kinds of fun.
Look at that smile. Boy,
Oh,
you
yeah,
couldn't miss
yeah.
that. How about this one?
This was an event. We try to even do not just your usual holidays, but we'll do like International Peace Day or Earth Day. This was an Earth Day event we had, and I think I was teaching him how to make something with recycled materials.
Cool.
That's our rec room.
Ah, there's a Make 'em Smile musician.
Yay, that's Stephanie, our wonderful rec therapist, and Aaron in the middle. He's one of our diehard
He's
make him
he
smile.
is a regular with you.
He's
isn't
a
he?
regular, yeah.
Him and
he's-
Jason, I think, are
Yes,
the two
he's-
guys who come.
Yeah,
They love coming.
Aaron's
to
been
you.
great because, I mean, he knows how to connect with the kids, but he also helped us out when we had a little welcome for our new administrator. So he played some music for that as well.
Right. Yeah, we find that the musicians are so willing to do whatever it takes for the hospital. They don't ask
Yeah.
for money. They just
Right.
do whatever it takes, whether it's a special occasion for the hospital, whether it's a birthday party for a kid,
Yeah.
anything like that, they will do. Let's get to the next one.
Oh, this is, we actually have hula that we teach the patients.
Oh my gosh.
And so, in fact, coming up, we're going to have our May Day program next week. But we try to, teach the kids some nice songs. And throughout the years, we do different performances. Like at Christmas, we perform at Kahala Mall
Oh my gosh.
at the center, little area
Yeah,
there. And
yeah.
it's just really neat. It gives the kids an opportunity to perform as well as, really boost their self-esteem.
Now, some of these kids are in wheelchairs because they've had surgery and
Yeah, or
all that
some of
kind
them
stuff.
just live in their, that's how they get around in their wheelchair. And yeah, we dance or do whatever no matter what.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, here's our favorite spot, right?
Yes, our favorite spot in the pool. And
Now, these
we're-
kids, how many can you take in at one time? Or is
Well,
there-
it's not a huge pool by any means, but I think we have about, where is there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or so kids
Uh-huh.
can fit in there, and we can get around, and they really love to be together. So if you take a kid on their own, it's kind of like, they're like, where's the other kids?
Really?
So
Oh,
yeah, the
my.
hardest part is getting them out of the water.
Of course. And do their parents go in with them as well?
No,
No?
just the patient with the
Okay.
therapists.
Now, here's something that is one of my favorites. Go
I
ahead.
know, isn't that a sweet picture?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have pet therapy, and we actually have 2 dogs, Sundari and Maya. They're both black labs that come in to the hospital, and they come visit, and the kids love it.
While this is up, tell me a little bit about pet therapy. How does it?
Yeah.
Because I've seen in every hospital there's therapy dogs.
Right.
What do they
right.
really do? And are the dog is really not afraid of a kid pulling his hair or something like that?
Well, the dogs usually are trained specifically for this, yeah. So, they have to go through all kinds of screening and whatnot through different national organizations to pass as a pet therapy dog. Yeah.
And do they think that pet therapy helps in the healing process? Is it?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Do you believe it too?
I believe it.
After all the time that you've been there?
Absolutely. I
That's
saw
great.
one time we had a child that was having a treatment done in the room, and she was really frightened about it. And so we had the Sundari come into her room, and she was petting Sundari, and so her focus was on the dog while she was getting this treatment. And
Isn't that
yeah.
amazing? I've heard that they do something like that when kids are getting shots. And there's a fear of
Yeah.
shots, and the doctor has his dog sitting there, and the kids focus on the dog while they get the shots and things like that. So
Oh, that'd be great,
So I
yeah.
guess it's true. It really is something that is very, very good, not just for therapy, but for fear
Right,
of,
right.
of what a kid might have at one time.
Yeah.
Do we have any more pictures, or is that the last one?
I'm not
Oh, there's
sure.
one.
That is one of our wonderful musicians too, Jason.
Yeah.
And he comes in quite often. The kids give him a playlist because they have
Do they?
specific songs. He'll ask them, what do you want to hear next time I come? And so he also, same with Aaron, they teach the kids and they jam together a lot too.
I love it when the kids participate with the musicians.
Right, right.
We had one the other day. I guess you guys have some mini musicians, and the kids can start banging on
Oh,
things
yeah,
to the
yeah.
beats, and that's wonderful. That is just terrific.
Yeah.
Just imagine what they're doing emotionally, where
Right.
their mind is now focused on wonderful things like beats and music and
Right,
sounds,
right, yeah.
rather than, oh, my leg hurts, or I don't feel well, or what am I doing here, or I miss my friends. That is all
Exactly.
such positive stuff.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
What's the next one we have?
Oh, that's just my family.
Oh, put it up again. Let's see. Because we all want to know. Anybody who's 29 years old and has worked at the same place for 23 years, we need to see how that works.
The boys
I see
and my
your boys.
husband, Philip
that's
and
great.
Ryan.
That's wonderful. Well, we only have a couple more minutes
Okay.
on this segment, so I do want to talk a little bit about the Shriner mission, the mission statement of Shriners. Is it strictly for children, or are they going to help elderly people or women, or is
Yeah.
it strictly kids?
Well, right now it is strictly children. So we see patients from birth to 18 years, and then once they're in our system, they can be followed a little bit longer if need be, maybe to 21 or so. But yeah, it is primarily, that's the specialty.
And I know we should be asking this question to somebody else because it's not your specialty, but how do they fundraise? What's the normal fundraising procedure?
There's all kinds of different things that go on. I mean, people can donate to the hospital directly. Sometimes the shrine organizations have different events going on, like the temple themselves. Like I know they have a like a Paniolo barbecue coming up. I don't know the details on that,
That's
but
okay.
that's one of their fundraisers. This Sunday, I have some of my kids doing a little performance because one of the organizations, the Daughters of the Nile, which is the women's group of the Shriners, are putting on a tea, and that's like a little fundraiser too to bring in some money.
And
So
where is
there's-
that going to be?
That's at the hospital.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
And can anybody attend? Or
I
is it
think
private?
so.
Yeah, anybody can come,
Yeah,
and donations
you
are
can-
welcome.
absolutely,
I'm assuming.
you can-
I think it's a very well worthy cause for people to look at when they're trying to figure out where do I want to donate my money to,
Yeah.
because every penny goes towards the care of the
Yeah.
kids. It's very different from some of the others. You guys don't advertise, you guys don't do anything like that, and I think any of the work related to fundraising for Shriners is very important. I think it's terrific. One last question before we go to the next break.
Okay.
Your recreation therapy program, is it the same in every Shriners hospital?
No, not necessarily. I mean, we probably do real similar things, but depending on, it's like the uniqueness of the hospital. So depending on what their main focus is, it might be a little bit different. But in general, we do the same thing. Some programs have both rec therapy and child life specialists. It just depends. Each hospital is different.
I find the work that you do with these kids is quite different from the other hospitals. The other hospitals maybe have a recreation therapy department, that brings the kids into an area, like a playroom area, where they play. And it's pretty well related to that playroom area. You know, there's lots of equipment there. But you guys do a lot of stuff in different areas. You do. We saw the
Yeah.
swimming pool. We saw that big, huge rec area that you have.
Right, right.
God, it's the size of a big classroom.
Yeah.
Really, with all the equipment in there. One of our musicians was playing, and I saw a kid getting therapy. He was moving his leg up and down because he
Right,
was
right.
doing the lifting for a knee surgery, maybe.
Yeah,
That's fabulous.
yeah.
That is really, really terrific.
We use all the places.
I
So
think it's
even
wonderful.
Aaron was playing in the hallway the other day because a kid was walking by in the hallway, and that was, you know, kind of a good spot at that time. We do a lot of things outside too.
We had, I remember, we did something where you had ice. What was it? There was ice in
during the holidays we had a snow day.
a snow day, and
yeah.
you had a pile of ice probably 10, 15 feet high.
That was a fun day.
Oh yeah, I remember getting hit with a snowball, so it wasn't too much fun
I
for
didn't
me.
throw that one, did I?
Maybe you did, maybe you did. We are going to be back in a minute. My name is Seymour Kazimirski. We're on Seymour's World with Helene from Shriners Hospital. Thank you.
I'm Hong Jiang, host for Asia in Review on Tuesdays.
And I'm David Day, host for Asian Review on Thursdays. Both of us broadcast our respective shows at 4 p.m.
And my topics tend to deal with questions related to environment, culture, history, and sometimes human rights.
And my shows tend to be on international business, foreign policy, geopolitics, and national security. And you can watch our shows live on the ThinkTech website at thinktechhawaii.com.
And you can also watch us on YouTube or Olalo.
So come join us on Thursdays at 4 p.m. I'm David Day.
And on Tuesdays at 4 p.m., I'm Hong Jiang.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Welcome back to Seymour's World. I'm Seymour Kazimirski. Our special guest today is Helene Frei. Did I say it right?
You did.
Or maybe Helene, which I love. Frei from Shriners Hospital. She is in charge of the Recreation Therapy Department, where they have dogs and they have our musicians from Make 'Em Smile. And they do such wonderful, wonderful work for these kids that come from pretty well all over the South Pacific, and I don't know of another hospital in Hawaii that does as much as they do for those kids. And that's why I wanted them on, because I wanted you to know about Shriners. So let's talk about some of the other programs you have.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, we try to encourage, you know, as part of their healing too, we try to encourage the kids to be healthy. So we actually have cooking classes, and that's really fun because they get to learn how to cook different things, and then we also incorporate some of the different cultural dishes. So they teach each other, you know, some of the foods from where they're from. And that's, yeah.
And what
that's
about
always a highlight.
pottery and things like that? Do you have other kind of things that you do with the kids?
Yeah, we have a Let's Get Moving program because we want them to exercise. Obviously, exercise is really important. So Stephanie is really involved with that. We take the kids on walks to the neighborhood park, Makiki Park, or we go on outings. We've gone bowling. We go to Ala Moana and, you know, walk around there to get the kids moving.
Well, that's terrific.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about some of the experiences that you've had with the kids, both good ones, and obviously there's always good and bad and everything. You mentioned one before that brought tears to my eyes.
Yeah.
Are there some others that you'd like to tell us
Gosh.
about?
There's probably so many in all the years. I think what's really, the one thing that always moves me is when a child is leaving, you know, we're all so happy. We're like, oh, they're doing great. You know, the surgery really improved them. And then we think back when they first came in, and it might be that they had some extreme deformity, like maybe they had clubfoot where their feet were completely turned in, and they were never able to wear shoes or even walk or run. And then they leave, and their feet are perfectly straight, and they can put in. I remember a child telling me what he did. You know, I said, "What'd you do this weekend?" And he's like, I got to go out and I bought my first pair of shoes.
Oh,
you know, we don't think of those things. Like we
Yeah.
have shoes, we don't, you know. So those are just, it's really a miracle, like the changes that can happen when
That's
our patients
wonderful.
come through.
Do your kids ever come to the hospital, or do you have groups of kids coming to the hospital?
We do. We have a lot of community groups that come, and they'll help out in different ways. I mentioned the Punahou students that came recently. We had the 8th grade team, and they rotated their students. They were teaching a class on empathy and what it really means, but then they came and helped our patients, and they planned different fun activities to do with the kids, and that was really neat. But we get all kinds of groups like that coming from different organizations to come plan a fun thing, you know.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So you're helping those kids at school who have to learn about what's going on,
Yeah.
and then they come to your hospital and
Right.
work with the kids. That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
We try to teach the young people about, you know, the hospital in general, so they can spread the word too. Yeah.
Oh, that's terrific. What about the hospital and the admin side of it? I mean, obviously you have to run a hospital, and it costs a lot of money to run a hospital that size. Is there any issues with how big the hospital can get? Do you intend for it to get larger? Do you have funding for that kind of stuff?
Yeah,
What are the
I
plans?
mean, the infrastructure of the hospital now, and that really is our new administrator that came a few months ago. I mean, that really is the goal, is that we have so much more potential to grow, and we're looking at so many different ways that we can do that we can help the families here in Hawaii especially. We recently started a fracture clinic, and so that's pretty much Monday through Friday in the morning. So if, heaven forbid, your child had some type of sports injury or whatnot, and they can't, you know, the emergency room might say, oh, just put in a splint and call your doctor, and if they can't get an appointment, that's something they can come to Shriners. They can walk in the next day and be seen by an orthopedic surgeon.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, so
Fantastic.
that's great.
You have 24 beds. You said that there's more coming. Are they planning to make a larger facility?
No, we're not necessarily expanding the rooms, but we have room for expansion with programs.
So care, basically,
Yeah,
to be able to
yeah.
get more kids in,
Right.
especially for day surgery, which is a big thing these days.
Right,
not to keep
right.
not to keep patients overnight.
Exactly,
Is that getting
exactly.
bigger and bigger in
It
the
is,
hospital?
it is, yeah. That's definitely the area.
And do you
of
have
growth.
CAT scans and MRIs and all that kind of stuff?
We have an X-ray department. We don't have our own MRI. Those usually have to be sent out. But
Outside?
you know, that's something in the future. You know, we
That's
could
terrific.
look at. Yeah.
That's terrific. Tell me about the kids themselves. Obviously, you can't divulge names and things like that, but the kids that come there, do they understand what they're getting from Shriners? Is it something that they appreciate what Shriners is doing for them?
I believe so. Yeah. I think that they know that they're coming there to improve something. So whether it be being able to sit and position better in their wheelchair, or whether to have a brace or a surgery so that they can walk better, they know that they're going to come in to improve something. And that's what's really special, you know.
So the kids appreciate what's going on, and they really see it. I mean, I found visiting your hospital as many times as I've been there, I find that there is a real warmth between the patient, the parent, and the caregiver. So you as the caregiver obviously have a wonderful relationship. But obviously with 24 beds and as many people as you have in day surgery, you have a much better chance of becoming acquainted with them. It's like a family doctor's office rather than a big hospital.
Yes,
out
that's
there.
true.
Is that how it feels for you
It
too?
does, because the kids that we might see as inpatient are coming back for outpatient therapy. So we'll see them, you know, in the clinic waiting for their appointments, and we can chit chat with them. Or ones that maybe come back in 6 months, you know, it's kind of fun to see them too. It's like, oh, what's been going on with you? You know, what are you doing?
That's
So,
amazing,
yeah.
huh, that you have that personal relationship that stays with you and with the kid for such a long period of time. The child, I shouldn't call it, but with the
okay.
child, that is terrific.
Yeah.
Really, really wonderful. And now we want to talk a little bit about what I think is the most important part, and that Helene herself. You are there 23 years, but at the same time, there's other things that you do. I know you work with another organization as well, right?
Oh, the ATRA. Yeah, I recently.
Let's talk about that.
Well, I'm actually just a member. It's our national organization for my profession. So it's the American Therapeutic Recreation Association, and part of what they do is they have a newsletter, and I was able to share our story about Make 'Em Smile with my colleagues And so that was neat because I just wanted people to know for rec therapy, a lot of times, you know, everyone's really busy and there's no time to start new programs, but I just wanted to get the word out that, you know, if you take the time, then your hospital or your facility can really benefit from the new program.
Well, I don't know if I love you or I hate you for that, because I got a bunch of emails because of
Did
that.
you?
Yeah. People looked up Make 'em Smile and they got in contact with me and they asked me, can you do this program in Chicago or can you do this program in
you're
all
gonna
the
be
different cities?
traveling.
No, well, it's you know, we started this off as a very small program
Right,
here in
right.
Hawaii. It started off with, I think, 4 or 5 musicians. Jimmy Borges and Leah Bernstein helped me start it. And we had no idea that it was going to grow to 28 musicians and 4 days a week,
Right.
soon to be 5 days a week. And now Maui Memorial called, can we do Maui Memorial? And how do you say no? You know,
Right.
it's when you know what you do for kids and for parents and for even the nurses. I mean, look at your nurses.
Oh, yeah.
They just love it.
We look
you know?
forward to Thursdays.
I know they do. I know.
Yeah.
There was one, a matter of fact, there was one who changed shifts so that
So
they
she
could
could
be
be
there
there.
for the Thursday
Yeah.
year 1:30 to 3:30
Yeah.
on Thursday. So they changed shifts to be able to be there
Right,
for the
right.
for the
That's-
music. And I love when the nurses are all busy behind a counter.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they hear the
They
music,
stop.
and no matter how busy they are, you see them going like this a little bit, and you know, just
I
going
think
along with the music.
Yeah, it's great because, like you said, everyone gets involved, and if the staff can be happy, then they can treat the patients better, and you know, it really filters back down to the child.
That's
So,
right. We had the CEO of Kapilani Hospital came up to me during the Christmas party that they had, and she said, I want to shake your hand because you have no idea how much you're doing for the morale of the staff. And it took me a while to understand what she meant by that, because
Right.
I mean, we don't really associate with the staff except if they're standing at a nurse's station or a
Right,
doctor. And she says, people ask for your musicians to come and play in their wards or at their area, for instance. And we added at Kapilani, we added the women's side where
Oh,
we go
wow.
up to the Cancer Treatment Center
Yeah.
and we play for the women in cancer treatment, because
That's
it's
great.
obviously, you know, something that they want to do while they're getting their chemo or
Right,
whatever
right.
happens.
Oh, that's
You don't
fantastic.
do anything but orthopedics, so no cancer
Yeah,
treatment?
no, we
or-
don't do cancer treatment. Yeah, strictly orthopedics. But we recently we have a pediatric neurologist that started. So he's seeing patients with neurological disorders, so autism, ADHD, you know, those type of things. So that's kind of an expansion to our program too.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Any other expansion plans that you can talk about?
I'm sure there are off the
Yeah.
top of my head. I mean, the fracture clinic and the neuro clinic are the two
I
two
like
main
the
things
fracture
that
clinic because so many
Yeah.
times sprained ankles, all this kind of stuff, and they have to sit in an
Right,
emergency
right.
room for 5-6 hours
Yeah.
or 4 hours when they can come right up to you guys,
Yeah.
and you could probably look at them right away.
Yeah.
Is it a 24-hour facility?
Not, well, 24 hours only in the sense when we have inpatients, but pretty much our clinics are during the week, Monday through Friday. But, you know, anyone that wants treatment or that knows somebody can just call the hospital and get an appointment.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
wonderful.
It's as simple as that.
Wonderful, wonderful. So the recreation therapy department is just 2 people.
Yes.
2 of you guys handle all of these kids, both inpatient and outpatient kids that come.
Yeah.
Because I see the outpatient
Right,
kids playing
right,
too.
yeah. So it
That's
is
a lot for
Stephanie
the
and
2.
I, yeah.
Just you and Stephanie.
But we have a lot of volunteers.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. But still, it's you guys who I always contact or we,
Right.
we talk to, and that's a very big workload for just 2 people to handle.
Yeah,
And how long has Stephanie been with you now?
Stephanie's been at the hospital for, I think, a little over 4 years now.
Oh my gosh! So
Yeah.
you're both long timers. These are
Yeah.
these are not part-time positions. I think that's great. That's
Yeah.
great. So other projects that you're working on. You said you're working on the association project, the
Okay.
Association of Recreational
Oh,
Therapists.
right.
Anything else
That
that you're working on?
Not so much outside of the hospital. We're trying to put together like a little, not a memory book, but like a photo book for the patients. So when they come in, they can kind of look through this book to see, you know, what they're going to be encountering. So before they actually go through it, they can be looking at this book, and that'll be fun. That's something we're
Oh,
going to
that's
be doing
wonderful.
in the next few
Wonderful.
weeks. Yeah.
I think it'd be cool if we could do something for the patients after they've gone, which means if they sign a book or you take a picture and then
Yeah.
you put together a big picture book of all of the kids that are
Right,
for the
right.
year 2013, 2014,
Yeah.
and you
Oh,
send
that
that
would
out
be
to
cool.
everybody. You know,
Uh-huh.
that would be very, very cool too.
Right.
On the we're not here to talk fundraising, but on the funding side, When we say people can just drop off donations or send donations in the mail, is there any specific location to send it to?
They can contact the main hospital. I mean, everybody there for sure can help them out. Also, if you haven't been to the hospital, I mean, you know, I'd encourage people to come by to get a tour, because we definitely can show them around and share a little bit more about what the hospital has to offer.
The one thing we can say is parking is fantastic.
Yes, we are lucky.
Because if anybody knows Kapiolani Children's Hospital and what they've been going through with their expansion and their parking efforts, you guys have it hands down. You win.
Yes, we are very blessed to have good parking.
There's no doubt about it. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming. It has really been a pleasure to have you. I know you were very nervous to come onto the show, but I think you did a great job.
Thank you,
And I think that
Seymour.
people understand what Shriners is all about and what the Recreation Therapy Department is all about. To me, the job that you're doing for our kids is just as important as the physician, just as important as the nurse, because without your department there, these kids really don't have a way to spend their time. You know, they're sitting in beds. That's what I found a lot.
Yeah.
They're sitting in beds. They really don't know what to do with themselves. Their parents are worrying about them more than anything else.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you and Stephanie come around with stuffed animals and musicians and toys and bring them down to the swimming pool. That's just a wonderful thing that you're doing. So I felt you needed some applause for that. And
Well,
I felt by
thank you.
coming onto the show and showing our audience what you do and what you have to offer for kids that come from, especially outer islands, you know, or come from, oh, you hear our audience is clapping from over there. So
Thank you.
You know, I think it's just fabulous. So,
Well, thank you for your program too.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
it's
a
wonderful.
big plus.
Thank you. Thank you very much for watching today. Next week we have an excellent show. I'm not going to preview it for you, but I can tell you that it's going to be people that you will recognize because they are part of our community and they do something here in Hawaii for the last 30 or 40 years. So please tune in next week to Seymour's World. We're on Tuesday at 1 o'clock live, or you can see us on ThinkTech Hawaii if you go to the website or YouTube. This is Seymour Kazimirski at Seymour's World. Thank you very much.